Yuki, 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 Yuki,
So one day I was in a call with a few of my Discord friends and we decided to do a guess the opening quiz, and when I heard so I did, and the show was it was a curious show to say the least, and after I watched it, I didn't feel like making a review of it, but I realized that I haven't been working on any form of video lately, and I figured that this would be on the shorter side, but apparently I had a lot more to say than I originally thought. So, do I think it's good? Good question. Well, what are some of the things that I did like about the Future Diary? Well, some of the battles were pretty rad, specifically the 7th. I was slightly surprised with some of the scenes in that battle, and although it was a bit rushed, I feel like the mystery of finding out who was the thing that I found the most interesting, and it kept me watching. I, for one, love Minene. She is the best character hands down in the show. Like with Rak from Tower of God, I did not expect her to last that long, and actually thought the 12th was gonna be the character that was more relevant to the story. But no, and thank God, because Minene is way better than the other characters. And Akise and Ko were okay side characters, I guess. Hinata and Mao have a Yuri side plot, if that's your cup of tea. And whenever Yukiteru's parents are on the screen, I really enjoy their presence. Okay, let's get to the stuff that I didn't really like. The battle system is also not what I expected. I thought the diaries were gonna be used way more often. Sure, Yukiteru and Yuno use theirs a lot, but the rest of their opponents barely used their own diaries. Minene only used her escape diary like twice, the dog guy and the almost blind girl barely used theirs, and apart from planning, the 5th fight didn't really feel like he used it. The 12th had a really interesting one with it playing audio clips, but other than that, nothing much. And I wouldn't count the 8th as underutilized since it fully fulfilled its main role of making other people diary owners. Only really the 7th and the 11th probably used it, which ironically enough were the fights I liked the most, even though the 11th didn't really have an actual face-to-face fight. Not to mention, I feel like some of the diaries were pretty repetitive, like the 7th and the Yuno basically had the same one, the 10th and the 6th also have the same one, and if you really think about it, the 11th and the 4th also have the same one, since both of them mainly use outside force in combination with their abilities. I also feel like there were some really interesting opportunities that the show missed, like the 12th fight. He is the only one in the show that has a voice recorded diary. Maybe make a fight scene where even though Yuno and Yukiteru hears the entries, they have to find creative ways to get around the 12's superior sense of hearing to get the upper edge. Because even though his fight is a bit more memorable than the others, I feel like it could be so much more better with his diary. I just think of all these possibilities and thought that it could maybe been tweaked a little to make it even better. And okay, I get how they based it off of 4 prototypes, but for a show like Fire Force, most, if not all the abilities in that show revolves around fire, and they had some really creative ones to boot. Maybe have a diary which describes what happens in a certain area, like their mansion or something, and have that diary as like their desktop, but the weakness of the diary is that it picks up everything in the house, like footsteps and sounds. Honestly, I feel like it could replace the 7. She has poor eyesight, so the idea of staying enclosed in a house would still be kind of accurate. Maybe rewrite the whole cult thing, cause it wasn't really interesting to begin with for me. The plot also gets real messy at times, like how the 11th planned to turn the city into diary owners when it contributed nothing to the story. We get to see a glimpse of what could happen, but nope, we just spend the rest of the series at Yuno's house not knowing anything. I get how the 8th and the 11th died, but I don't know, maybe have them stay alive and have the outside world distract the main gang as they try to fix the chaos. I felt like it would have been cool to take a look at what other types of people might do with their future diaries, or if it took too much time, just show the aftermath of it. Even though it was for like a few hours, it would still be pretty interesting to see what happened. If turning the city into diary owners weren't important, then what was the point of destroying the Helens, the supercomputers, the mission that ultimately led to Nishijima's death, and ultimately Minene's death as well? And also, I find it totally unnecessary for Akise to be Deus's puppet all along. The role leads to nowhere. Sure, you gave him a diary, but you could have just had him hooked to the 8th server and boom, just have him be a normal dude. It's not that hard. And like I said at the start, the show does feel kinda rushed when they're revealing the mystery of who Yuno was. But although the actual mystery, like I said, was really good. The review of Yuno being the winner of a previous game and going to another world was definitely something I did not expect. Although I think there may be a few plot holes, like since the diary owners of the people from the other worlds were basically the same, I don't know why Yuno didn't immediately knew who they were and just hunted them from the start. I think I have to address the big elephant in the room. The aspect that basically either carried the show or made it even more horrible. That's right, it's the relationship between Yuno and Yukiteru. Let's talk about Yuno for a bit first. At first, I actually didn't really care for Yuno at all. I thought she acted really crazy at times. But hey, she is the definitive yandere. She was the character that made the whole stereotype popular in the first place. And she is definitely one. Look, I like my share of yanderes, okay? But I much prefer kuderes. It's just common sense to know which is more superior, man. I'm sorry. Yuno's backstory was also a bit sad, with her parents locking Yuno in a cage if she disobeyed them. But Yuno eventually gets her revenge on her parents, however killing them in the process. I think almost all of us who watched the show knew Yuno was going to betray or try to kill Yukiteru in the final act. I mean, almost every character warned Yukiteru of it, but nope, he doesn't listen. However, in the end, I think Yuno got a proper send-off, with her seeing her third world self being loved by her parents, which was the thing that basically made her the way that she was, not receiving love from her parents. That in the end, I felt kinda bad. So yeah, overall, Yuno wasn't a bad character. Yukiteru, on the other hand, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not, but as I wrote more and more of this script, I realized that it wasn't actually Yuno that broke the show for me. Rather, it was this whiny piece of shit over here. Personally, this character did not work that much for me. In the first half, I didn't mind him that much. I thought it was a slightly below average character. He strongly did not want to kill people, and only got the motivation to do so once he lost his parents. Okay, so he goes on a killing rampage. I thought it was strange at first, since he showed no emotion, but it was because he wanted to bring them back to life when he became God. Okay, what does he do when he finds out that he actually can't bring anybody back as God? Goes to spend the rest of the episodes with you. Wait, what? And that's not the worst part. He has made multiple claims that, oh, he wants to become God to bring people back to life. Even to go so far as to make a bloody notebook of names of the people he killed so that he can revive them later. And he shows very little emotion for somebody who realized that they can't bring back any of them. You are really an impassive guy for finding out that all the murder, all the killing you did was basically for nothing, since you can't revive them. Another thing that struck me was how Yukiteru trusts Yuno so easily. Sure, there's that feeling you get that Yukiteru doesn't 100%, 1000% trust Yuno. But it kinda discredits some of the stuff that Yuno did to Yukiteru. Let's see, what example can I give to back up my argument? Oh yeah, the episode where Yuno bloody kidnaps Yukiteru! Because after the kidnapping, after the saving, they just go back to being like friends in the next episode. Sure, Yukiteru does show some resistance to untying Yuno, but after that, boom, nothing happened. Okay, next episode. Definitely not you, is what Yukiteru should have said. I feel like Akise could be a way better protagonist than this inconsistent piece of garbage. Hell, maybe even Kosaka. Am I being a bit harsh? Sure. I think he does have a few good moments, like when he threw the dart into Minene's eye, which eventually caused her to rock that awesome looking eye patch. You go, girl. Oh wait, this is about Yukiteru. Him leaving his parents at the end scene was a bit generic, but still serviceable. Also, did you know his father's voice actor is Dio? Oh, I did it again. Well, that was basically all I had to say about this series when ranking this on my AnyList. I put it as a solid 6 out of 10, which is also what I'm gonna give this show. Interesting concept, but mostly wasted, and a god-awful protagonist. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but this scene where Yukiteru discovered the body was genuinely terrifying the first time I saw it. Okay, see ya, noobs.
Legs being spread and then there's
Yeah.
black underwear in the middle.
Yeah.
The bowl.
Guys, give me a funny phrase.
Your mother.
Gnarly.
Extravagant.
What?
Extravagant. Well, you guys just prove his point. You guys just prove